My name is Duane, Mobile Technology Manager with Gooseneck Implement. Today we're going to go over some sprayer tips and tricks to make sure that your sprayer is running at its peak performance for the season. We're going to go over a nozzle body disassembly and assembly, go through some wear components, and show you some stuff to keep an eye out for on an ExactApply sprayer. So ExactApply is retrofittable to all R series sprayers, so definitely get in contact with your local Gooseneck Implement if you are interested in getting your R sprayer upgraded to ExactApply. So probably one of the most important things we can't stress enough is keeping your sprayer clean. So John Deere recommends the Race product. Make sure to use this as often as possible. We want to keep that sprayer clean. We want to make sure if there's any chemical residue, it's completely eliminated, and that's going to help your sprayer run at its peak performance. So John Deere also recommends run a rinse cycle every single day. So I can't stress that enough. There's a huge difference between the machines that don't get rinsed out every day and the machines that do get rinsed out every day. So rinsing it out every day extends the life of the ExactApply nozzle body, keeps all that chemical residue from building up inside there, and allows it to perform at its peak level of performance. So every day when you're done spraying for the day, run that rinse cycle completely through your sprayer. So another really important topic on all sprayers, make sure that your nozzles are in good condition. So we sell this spot-on tool, basically a sprayer calibrator. It measures the amount of liquid coming out of the nozzles to make sure that they are calibrated and within the spec of the nozzle. If you haven't replaced your nozzles in a while, would definitely encourage you to either test them or get a new set on there to verify that the tip size is not worn out. So another cool tool that we offer from Spot On is this tip cleaner. Basically allows you, if you're in the field, to blow a little burst of air through each nozzle, especially if you don't have an air compressor. You never want to put the nozzles anywhere near your mouth or face to blow in them. So this tool makes sure that you can clean them out. It comes with a little cleaning tool also. Definitely worth having inside your sprayer to make sure that if something does plug up, you're able to get that all cleaned and back going again. So every ExactApply sprayer should have this ExactApply maintenance kit. We'll be going through the tools that are within this kit. Make sure that if you've robbed any parts out of this kit that you get them replaced before season. So you make sure if you need them, they're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and get into disassembly and reassembly of the ExactApply nozzle body and go through some things to look for. So the first thing you'll notice is that outside is full of dirt. Want to make sure to get this cleaned out. John Deere recommends just use some good soapy water, hot soapy water. I did pull the pins out of this one already. Normally you want to keep those metal pins in there and then plug this off, whether it's with your thumb, get the whole outside clean as possible. So in that way it's ready to be disassembled. So first thing, take your nozzles off, get them cleaned or replace them, and then we'll go ahead and clean this up, and then we'll come back and go into disassembly. So before you take it apart, first thing you want to check, make sure that there's no damage to this lens. You can see on this one there is damage on this lens, so you would have to replace this nozzle body. So we'll go ahead and get started with disassembly. It's nice to have one of these caps around. They come with all the new nozzle bodies, so it helps keep that connector clean. Cleanliness is probably the most important thing. Make sure that you don't get any dirt, expose anything to the system. So I always like to keep things the same way when you put them back together. So this would be the front of the machine. We're going to make sure to keep things on the left and right. It really doesn't matter, just a habit that a lot of us have gotten into. So we'll go ahead and pull these clips out. Just put a little force, clip comes out. And then these solenoids basically just pull right off. So just with some nice pressure, pull them right off. And then that little solenoid valve, it's okay if that comes with it. So we'll go into detail on that here in a minute. So both sides just pull right off. Sometimes they'll stick in there just like that one, just real gentle rocking, and that will come right out. So just like that, basically got down just this bottom piece to take off yet. In your kit, there's a nice little pick. If you have a screwdriver, basically just tuck that in there. That little plastic piece will come right out. Just like that. So when you take this bottom piece off, you just real gently twist it, and that bottom piece will pull right off. So once you get that off, this is the main base of your nozzle body. You want to inspect the little light like we talked about, make sure there's no cracking, and then definitely look at these O-rings and these seals. So if there's any damage on these seals, you can order a seal kit and get those replaced. This would cause issues on your sprayer where it would leak. Definitely make sure those are in good shape. You want to clean out, so all in here you'd want to make sure is completely clean. This O-ring in here is in good shape. That's what seals to your boom. You'll also notice they have a nice little B and A right marked on the side of the nozzle body. So in that way you're able to identify which solenoid's which. To make sure that if you do have a fault code, you're messing with the right solenoid. So we'll go ahead and go into our solenoid valve disassembly. So basically each side, these little solenoids just pull out of the solenoid valve, and you can easily disassemble this. You can see right there, usually you can do it without even using the tool. If this is really tight, the toolkit includes a nice little base. You slide that in there just like that, and you can unscrew the black cap here. So again, on the O-rings, you want to make sure these O-rings are perfectly good shape. There should be no nicks, no damage. You want to inspect in this area right here. This is the sealing area of the nozzle. So you want to make sure that this surface and this surface right here is completely clean. If there's a little piece of flake of something or a little piece of debris in here, it will cause that side to stick open. Could cause it to leak when you're going down there. So we'll just set that off to the side. There's this little O-ring in here. I always recommend you pop this off, and you're going to want to put that with your cap. So we'll just set that on top there. And then you just take your pick, and this plunger comes out just like that. So I want to inspect the sides of this plunger. Never want to see any scoring, any rust, any debris. I would say if you can clean these up, but if there's any damage to them, you would definitely want to replace this plunger assembly. So this little spring in here, just make sure there's nothing too crazy going on with that, and that just slips back in there. So same thing with the bore right here. You want to make sure that there's no damage inside there, no residue buildup. So I'll go ahead and show you one that does have some damage. When you put this back together, just make sure this O-ring here is fully seated, and then you want to just take it and screw it back together. Your toolkit does come with a torque wrench. You always want to use this tool here to make sure that this plastic cap is not over torqued. Basically, you just slip that on, and right there, you're going to have that torque to the proper spec. So if you over tighten this, you can crack it, strip out the threads, damage this part here. So I always want to use that tool to make sure it is torqued properly. This one right here is actually one that I'm going to show you some stuff that happens when you don't rinse your sprayer out daily. So basically what happens is that chemical sits in here. You're either going to get some buildup, some rust, and this is going to cause this little plunger to stick. So essentially this plunger goes back and forth in this here to control the pulsing of the nozzle. So you want to make sure this is as clean as possible, because any bit of debris here that causes this to stick could cause some erratic spraying out of that nozzle. So definitely make sure these are in good condition. I would recommend replacing this whole part if there's any damage found with this component. So we'll go ahead and put the nozzle body back together. The solenoid valves, you just want to push into the solenoid, and that will make for ease of installation. Go ahead and take the cap here and just slightly twist that on until it's fully seated. So you really don't want any gap there. It should be pretty tight, and then your clip will go back in. And that clip just slides back in, and you'll hear it clip into place. But always want to make sure it's clipped into place. So your screw is the front of the sprayer. You just want to take your nozzles, your solenoids, and slide them back on. Just like that. Once those are pushed on all the way, basically just take these clips and you can slide them back, and you are ready to go install it back on your sprayer. So if you have any questions on the video, please reach out to your local Gooseneck implement, and we will make sure to do our best to get you taken care of. Thank you for being a part of the Gooseneck family. We appreciate everyone, and definitely look forward to helping you get ready for this spring